Woke devs destroy another franchise by Rev Says Desu. TIVV3, that's the star sign this cat is born under. Let's take a look and see. Let me put the speed at 1.25.
Hey, what's up guys, Rev here.
There.
So today we have multiple stories involving video game related news and drama, starting with the Silent Hill 2 remake. And just like a lot of recent remakes, it is a complete dumpster fire before it's even released. Now, the Silent Hill 2 remake's team has recently announced that they want to be faithful to the original game. However, they will have to adjust things and some factors for the contemporary audiences, which is also often described as the modern audience, which basically dead on arrival. Okay, you hear that phrase being used by the developers of an upcoming release, you know that thing is gonna flop. Okay, those words should actually...
Yeah, because modern means like the last 500 years, right? So it's like, I don't know, I like the contemporary thing a little more. It makes more sense. Let's go.
Concern you because every time it's used, it's typically followed up with some virtue signaling crap that is reflected in the quality of the game. Now, Silent Hill 2's remake. This is what it looks like. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is how it is being tailored for the modern audience, okay? And despite some wackadoo
chubby service. It's a chubby service.
on Twitter saying, this is actually 100% better than the original, I think we all know which one is the more traditionally attractive model here. And it's really kind of crazy thinking about the insane gap of years between the development of the original.
I like how she got a real mouth on the first one, on the left one, right?
Versus the remake, and how, despite the increase in technology, this is what we get in the remake. It's absolutely insane. Now, for the team behind this, the developer team is the Bloober Team, which is as goofy goober as it sounds, okay? It's a fitting name for these people who are pushing to appeal to the modern audience. Now, before we get into some of their quotes from their team, let's remind ourselves who the Bloober Team is. They're responsible for the cult classic Layers of Fear from 2016, and what a great excuse to use this Germa clip.
I don't know, it wasn't half bad. Didn't go for cheap jump scares most of the time.
From back then. This clip
it?
right here really
It's been a while.
gives you a peek into the twisted minds behind these horror classics and the team that's going to be responsible for Silent Hill 2's remake.
How did I do that again? No shit, go back, I want to do it again. I think I'm gonna die on camera. I think I'm gonna die on camera. I feel like the asset is loading right here. You know what I mean?
Oh no, there's more.
I'll get it.
Alrighty. I mean, spawning a bunch of creepy dolls is pretty cool when you get to do it. But I mean, I gotta give it to these devs though. It was a fair game in my memory, and it's like, it's not supposed to be a jump scare, okay? Okay, but I understand the problem. It's like, for horror games, it's easy to either be like cheap jump scares all over the place. That's kind of like whatever. It's like, why would you do that? It always works, but it's always cheap, and like people probably not gonna like have a lot of fun with your game and like think it's just cheap. And then there's this thing where you work with atmosphere and stuff, and you might actually run into an issue where some things are just taken on their own. They're just funny AF. This is an issue I keep running into. Back when I was playing horror games, people were like, why are you not scared? You're making fun of the game. It's like, no, the game is just funny, mother effer. The game is just funny, oh my god. But yeah, so it's tricky. Anyway. Not like that pessimistic about these devs just yet, but that is one funny interaction if you can reproduce it like that.
I can't even fucking imagine why you would have to do this. I can't even process why you would have that. A scary game.
That's right, Silent Hill fanbase, you can breathe a sigh of relief. You know you're in good hands with this remake. Now, of course, it should also concern you that the distributor of this game is, of course, Sony, and that comes with a whole lot of issues, and it's probably not surprising that we have clips like this going viral on Twitter from the Bloober Team talking about how they want Silent Hill 2 to preserve the authenticity of the original game while also adapting a horror classic for modern audiences.
Now that's a mouthful. And how about just make a good game? Like,
This is one of the most offensive lines you could ever see as a gamer. Like, I would have had more respect for this team if instead of a remake, they just grabbed a bunch of original copies.
I mean, that's Konami saying that. That's Konami tweeting that. Don't put that on Bloober Team. Bloober Team would probably be like, yeah, that's one strange way to put it.
The game and just threw them on the floor and then took a steaming shit on them. Then to see this phrase being used as kind of the moniker of this remake. This is ridiculous and nobody wants this. And again,
and sure, I'm just not yet sold that Bloober Team is gonna be not delivering a reasonable game, and in fact a great game, so
a lot of people are confused. Why are you mentioning this modern audience? People in the replies, all of the top replies are asking,
let's see if there's more.
Who is the modern audience? Why do we care about them? And why are you tailoring your game to fulfill their needs? Well,
I feel like you lose if you ask who is the modern audience. It's not supposed to mean anything.
I think the best way of describing the modern audience is basically the loud screechers on Twitter who complain about things just for the sake of complaining about it, but never have any actual interest in purchasing the game that they're trying to change to fit their delicate sensibilities. And I think this comic really gives a pretty good impression of this cycle. So you can see here, the creator saying this, I made more of the thing you like, and the actual fan base saying, oh great, we love it. But then some loud screecher, probably from Twitter, comes in saying, I do not like the thing. You're a bad person if you do not address the fact that...
I mean, and to replace that guy from Twitter with an actually financially well-endowed pressure group who got money from potential rivals, potential people who don't care about the product, but they want to get people busy with something else. You know, it's not like Twitter. It's like this guy with the megaphone. Like, they got money, you know? They got money.
I do not like the thing. Then,
I don't think it's just like some random Twitter weirdo. No.
And the creator, shamelessly, changes the thing to tailor the loud minority here. And then...
I mean, they have a megaphone, and they got the time on their hands to do the shouting with the megaphone. It's like, I mean, go figure.
The original supporters say, wait, I don't like this change. Why'd you change it? We don't want to support you anymore. And then, left with no one but the modern audience, the creator turns to the loud complainer saying, will you still buy the thing? And they say, no, I never had any real interest in the thing.
Of course not. There's some dude with a megaphone, got anything else to do besides be like, I don't like this thing. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Why are they there? That's the first mystery you gotta explain, right? It's like, why are they even there?
Many, many, many such cases. Now, you might have also noticed, who is Bloober using as their engine? So they're using Unreal Engine 5, which should explain a lot. So Unreal Engine is making the promise that they're going to provide all of the tech you need for an expansive open world experience for you.
Don't they do like, isn't that the engine that Wuthering Waves uses? The smash hit Wuthering Waves? I've had a blast with that game. And also Palworld? Palworld, wasn't that a thing?
Your gameplay and yada yada yada. Unfortunately, that seems like it's only a possibility if you align with some of their moral beliefs and their woke nonsense, because they also recently have stated this. So Unreal Engine coding standards now require video game studios to use inclusive
Why would you use their coding standards though? That seems fully optional, no?
Language in programming and documentation. It's not even about the public.
Like, these are coding standards. This is what they recommend to people. So in their project, they can have they can communicate like that. This is like a nothing burger, isn't it? Of course, it's kind of strange that the Unreal Engine would do this, but it feels like very, very empty. Like, you do this for the sake of being able to say that, okay, we have this inclusive coding standard. Nobody uses them, though.
Publishers anymore. It's not even about the developers. This is at the core of it all. Even in the creation process, even in the programming and the documentation of files even, you have to use inclusive language that won't offend anyone.
No, these are coding standards. These are coding standards, right? Ask any coder as to what standards they use, right? They use like no standards whatsoever. coding standards. What are you talking about?
Who might come across it. It's absolutely ridiculous. Now, here is some of those changes and requirements that are being pushed by Unreal Engine.
Every function is called Obama. You could do that, right? All right, you could do that. I mean, why not? All right, it's like a coding standard. It's a recommended coding standard. So like when you make your project with your buddies, everyone can call the function Obama for everything. Wow. That's the extent of that. So I'm not that worried here. It's just, I'm not worried at all, in fact. This is signaling of the highest order.
They'll give some examples of no-no words, according to Unreal Engine at least. So, blacklist, no longer allowed. You have to use alternatives like deny list, block list, exclude list, avoid list, unapproved list, forbidden list, and permission list. Ah, thank God. Well, what about whitelist? Nope. That shows some sort of power imbalance. You have to use alternatives like allow list, include list.
I mean, this is pretty cringe, though. I don't feel like the people who wrote this are fully aware that they're gonna get in the news in some weird channel with this, and people are gonna be like, yeah, you know, Wuthering Waves, good game. Palworld, good game. And Unreal Engine 5, actually a really good engine. And coding standards, like, actually not relevant to anything. It's like, I feel like we're getting reverse trolled here, you know what I mean? Or like, whatever it's called. Like, this is an elaborate move to get everyone to know that Unreal Engine is actually a pretty good engine. And do check out the games made in it. So,
Trustlet. I'm getting like some brain damage reading this. This is so ridiculous.
Yep.
Also, for master, here's some alternatives. Primary, source, controller, template, reference, main, leader, original, base. These are like the people who see something like a master list of something and they immediately think about slavery, but they're the ones who are like saying that you're the bigot because you're innocently using this word. Very strange stuff. But yeah, let's continue on here.
Anyway, yeah, that was that. Chubby service in Silent Hill 2. Good opportunity to point out that Unreal Engine has some good games out there. So yeah, appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the video. I will link it below. Feel free to like it. All the good stuff. Rate, comment, share with somebody who would argue with you. Also over here, do the good stuff, all the good stuff. And I mean, do you feel like they're just like reverse trolling us here? Like really just trying to get some attention to the good games? Enjoying that Wuthering Waves? Pick up the Palworld maybe? Do tell in the comments. I want to hear. Is this all an elaborate prank being pulled here? Or is there something more sinister going on? Share your thoughts in the comments. And yeah, stay safe out there. Hope you have a good one. Hope we meet again. Meow.